Hi everyone, I'm back. It's Gail, and I am here to do the second part of my little vintage journal. We did the cover, the first little episode, and it looks great. It's good and sturdy, and I'm super happy with that. So now we're on to the signatures. So what I've done is I've cut the papers and everything because I didn't want to bore you with all of that. But I had picked out pattern paper prior to doing any videos or anything because I wanted to coffee stain it. So what I've picked out is various vintage ladies. There's little vintage ladies all here and there, all sorts of different eras. And the reason I want to do that is I have some stamps to use in this journal, so I'll be grabbing some of those out, and they're different eras, but they're all vintage. So I have my pattern papers, and then what I do is then pick out the coffee dyed papers, kind of based on, I'm going to do 2 signatures, so there'll be 4 of these pages in each signature, and then I just kind of want to fill in. Usually on I'm thinking on this one it's going to be a 10-page signature. Sometimes they're 15, so we'll just have to play with it a little bit. But what I did secondly, after getting all these papers ready, was go through my coffee dyed papers, and I picked out 2 of each of the, I guess you could say, patterns that I coffee dyed. So this is just regular coffee dyed. This has the little kind of diamonds on it. I don't know, I suppose you can kind of see that. And then this one has the circles, and this one has the little black marks. So all of those based on which pan it's coffee dyed in, which if I do a coffee dye video you'll see that. But so I want one of those in each signature. And then I did a couple of, I have some kind of light green, it's like it's copy paper but it's light green, and so that's coffee dyed. So picked out those, and then just a couple of other little things that for sure I knew I wanted in there, which was a couple of doilies in each signature, this railroad form just to give it a little more color, and then these vintage ledger forms. So the way I assemble a signature is, first of all, I decide which paper do I want in the middle. So which one is going to show as you open up the book this way. So I'm liking that one, and I'm going to need 2 middles, right? Because I have 2 signatures. So definitely not that one, definitely not that one, definitely not that one. Kind of like that one, but she'd have this signature down her face. So maybe we won't do her. Okay, I think these are the 2. So I'm just going to fold them because they will be the ones facing this way. And then I'll pick the other patterned papers for the signature. So, and one thing I forgot to tell you too, I save all the offcuts because I may use those as little half pages in the signature, or they make good tags and stuff, and then we'll coordinate with the papers. So I'll keep those aside for later. So let's just fold these up, and we'll just kind of decide which ones go best with what. I think I'm going to base that on, some of them have very little color, some of them are more colorful, so we're going to want to maybe split those up amongst the signatures. Then this one has more color. This one and this one do not. So that was easy. Just got those all decided. Okay, so then I'm just going to stack these in based on kind of where I want them in the journal. And based on color, no color, whatever. So, okay, so then the pattern ones are in there. So then what I'm going to do is take my coffee dyed paper, and I just kind of quick and easy, I just kind of alternate the papers. So I'll put one in between these two pattern papers and one in between these two pattern papers. Hope I'm somewhat in frame doing this. My folding area is my focus right now. So, and these are the diamond ones. So we'll take the signature again and then just go to the next pattern paper and put in that coffee dye. Pattern paper, put in that coffee dye. And then the same with the dotted. And put that one right before the middle of the signature. And same over here. And then this one, we'll just decide where it looks good. And depending on how thick this is, once I kind of get done, then we can decide, do we want to add like an envelope that is going to be sewn into the signature? What else do we want to add to kind of fill it out a little bit more? So I'm thinking, I'm holding this up to the book, thinking about which one I want. I think I do want the pattern papers on the outside, so I think I'll leave that, just kind of determining where to put this one. I'm going to put it here by this brown one on each side, because it's also a brownish one there. Gonna have to add some color to this guy, which we will as we start to embellish it and stuff. Okay, so we're gonna want this paper, I don't know, it's just me, but I kind of want it away from this one because they're a similar pattern, right? So I think I'm gonna put it in the very first position there. And this one. And then, so that narrows it down. We'll just put the other green one. Maybe we'll put the other green one right here by the center. So we'll fold those up, get those in here. I think I want it right next to the middle fold, just because this has a little bit of a doily imprint in it. Oh my goodness, can't get it open. It's got a doily imprint, and I don't know that I want that right by the dotted paper, so we'll use that green to kind of break that up a little bit. So I hope this helps, just talking out loud and giving you my thought process on this. Again, I think this is probably a video maybe more for beginners than avid journalers. Okay, so the doily, where do I want the doily? I think I might want it on kind of this plain paper to kind of break it up a little bit. So let's do that. And I just kind of meet them in the middle a little bit. Fold it. Just put that right in there. And on this side, we will put it in the same spot, which is right on this one, which is great because then it breaks up kind of that, all that newsprint sort of looking stuff. Okay, so a couple of pink pages where we could use a little color. And these are super thin, so they don't add a lot of bulk, which I like too. I don't know. I'm feeling kind of after the colorful one, maybe. I don't know why. It's just telling me that's where I want to put that. Okay, and then we've got these little ledger sheets too that can kind of maybe break up a little bit of the coffee dye, you know. Okay, so actually might just do that first one. Okay, so now at this point, now that I've got the signatures basically together, right? So there's my two signatures. I'm just going to see how that sits in the book. And this is a good stiff spine. So, you know, that gives me a lot of room for embellishing there still. So I think, I'm deciding if I want any more bulk on the spine side, or if what I put in to embellish will pull this up enough to make me happy. Well, I have some time. I'm not going to sew them in right away, so I think I'm going to leave it at that for now. We may add, I don't know, we may add an envelope or some music paper or something else in there, but for now we're going to call that good. And then what I do next, and I can go ahead and do, is I do any sewing or any stamping before I put it into the book. And then this is just how I do it. Other people do it in a different order, I know. But I'll do all the sewing in here, mostly any stamping I might want to do. Sometimes I'll decide after a page is embellished that it needs a little stamp, and I can do it afterwards, after it's sewn in the book too. So, but that's what I do. I do all the sewing, then any stamping I want to do beforehand, and then I stick it, I sew them into the book. So the laces that I picked out for this, I just wanted a kind of a plain one. And then I also picked out this one. I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of a really light blue. The cover has that blue in the lady's hat and her little I don't know what you call that, little neckline of her dress. So, okay, so what I do here is I'm gonna want this plain close to the middle of the signature and towards the outside of the signature, and then I'm going to put the blue in the middle. So that's my plan. So I think I might put it on I've got the middle sheet here and then the second green sheet. I think I might put it on the second green sheet. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of shifting here to give myself room to work. But so I'm just gonna put both of these signatures, if I can set the book cover up there, I can set these here while I'm working. Okay, so now it's just a matter, I guess this is kind of the craft with me part. I'm just gonna measure, and I'm going to cut the 4 that I'm going to just put in right here. And then sew them in, and then I'll decide where to do the next one and start sewing that. And maybe that will be the end of this video. I don't know what I'm at time wise, but then I'll just start another part for the next steps. So okay, so there's the 4 that are going to, this is almost gone, but I have another roll of it, so that'll be good. Okay, so let's just do this. Move those over, get my sewing machine over here, and make sure I'm in frame again. Okay, and I like to, for the most part, zigzag. I like how it looks on the other side of the paper, so I'll be zigzagging these in. These ones are a little difficult to tell which side is the good side. This is just Hobby Lobby lace that looks vintage. It's not vintage, but it works good for this. And so what I do is I just start sewing. That is, if I can find my pedal. Oh gosh. Okay. Righty. Why are you not going? Oh, you know what? My pedal came on. So pretty soon you guys are gonna look at my my Go pedal is unhooked from me moving my sewing machine all over. So you guys are going to be taking bets on what's going to go wrong in Gail's videos. But see, there we go. So I just start off. I don't go back and forth to tie the thread. I just will sew down. Like that. And then I'll clip it off with enough kind of left that got a little hanging over there that I'm going to cut off. Let me just kind of get on the other side of that. Just going to snip that little bit off. And then I just tie a knot in each one is what I do. Just a double knot right there, and then I'll probably just leave the threads on this, but the ones up here are rather long, so we'll clip those off a little bit like that. So I do the front like that, and then I open, and then I will do this side. And of course you can glue this too. If you don't have a sewing machine, you could certainly use Fabri-Tac and just run a bead of it down here and glue in your lace as well. I just like to sew, so I like to sew, and I like how it looks, so it's what I prefer. But if you don't have a sewing machine, just don't think you can't put lace on your edges. You sure can. You just have to, you're just going to have to glue it. Yeah. So that one is done. You know, maybe what I'll do is, just so I can move this along to the next step, is now that that's tied, I'm just going to push my sewing machine back a little bit here and grab my signature, which is right here, and I'll put that one in, and so you can see that. So there's that one. And so I want to kind of go middle, so I think I'm going to go with this diamond paper, and we'll do the blue one. I'll just finish the other signature off camera. Yeah, now this lace I got in an estate sale, so I'm thinking maybe it's vintage. I don't know for sure, I guess, But yeah, there was quite a bit of it. I love it too. So okay, so we're just going to clip, I'll clip 4 of these again, so we have enough for the other signature as well. And I'm gonna put this the opposite way of the way I'm cutting it once I sew it on. But I'm just using kind of a neutral tan thread in the sewing machine. Certainly your thread can also be a little accent on what you sew on the edges of your pages. Like the nature journals that I just finished, I did a dark brown or black, I think, just because I wanted it to be that stark of a contrast. So, you know, all these elements can be a decorative or artistic element in your journal. Just checking to make sure I'm in. Okay, so let's sew this one on. And kind of decide where I want it. Like, what do I want hanging over? And I think I want to just have this little white edge hanging over. So I'm going to just kind of go down the middle this way. Okay. And there we go. Oops, sorry, I knocked the camera. Gosh, the way I have to, where I have to film now on my little table, since I hurt my shoulder, is down here. And I used to have like a 6-foot table that I worked on that I could film on while I worked, and that was a little easier, but this works. So there's that side, super cute. I love this lace. So we are going to now do this side, and I'm just going to pull the lace so it's lined up like the other page was, and off we go. Okay, so just want to show you what that kind of looks like. And so this one went in here, if I'm not mistaken. And so that little lace will be there. And then I'm going to put another row of this on, I think maybe this green sheet here. And so, and then that'll be all the lace. So I'll do that for both signatures. And then when we come back, we'll in another video, I'll do some of the other sewing that I'm going to do in the signature. So again, hope this is helpful, and we'll just continue on as I build this little journal. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. See you next time. Bye bye.